Management accounting is one of the most in-demand profiles in the world right now, and I'm here to talk to you all about the US CMA and the CIMA course, or CIMA, depending on however you want to pronounce it. Before I talk about the US CMA or CIMA courses, let me first explain to you all what it is that a management accountant does. So, every single organization, regardless of which industry they operate in, have a lot of data that they need to process. They have a lot of data that they need to analyze in order to make strategic data-driven decisions. And this is where a US CMA comes in. So to give you all an example, if Cadbury has to launch a new product, there's a market research that needs to happen. After that, you need to see how your existing products are doing, what are the sales, down to what are the sales for individual flavors, so on and so forth. There's a lot of data that comes your way, and the management needs to make the best possible decision in terms of how their product needs to shape up, how much should they price the new product at, what will be the market reaction to this product, so on and so forth. And this is the job of a management accountant. Usually, management accountants get to work with senior people in the organization. It could be your vice presidents, it could be your directors, associate directors, could be even CXO positions in the organization, because ultimately, these sort of positions are the ones who make the calls, and they are the ones who need this data-driven approach and ability to analyze and interpret financial statements and other statements and do a lot of research. So usually management accountants work directly with the management of an organization, which is why it is called management accounting. With that being said, management accounting is very different when you compare it to financial accounting. Financial accounting is usually more relevant to external stakeholders, whereas of course, financial accounting is also relevant to internal stakeholders, but it's done more from a perspective of reporting and so on and so forth. Whereas management accounting is usually internal to an organization. So with that, I hope you understand what it is that a management accountant does. Now, the US CMA and CIMA are both management accounting courses. They specialize in management accounting. Usually when candidates want to end up in management accounting and the various fields that are intertwined with management accounting, there's usually two options that come to mind. The very first one is US CMA and the second one is CIMA or CIMA. I'm going to explain the difference in both the courses to you all. Academically, structure-wise, paper pattern-wise, they're different, so I'll cover that, I'll go over that. But fundamentally, they essentially cover the same thing, which is various aspects of management accounting. So let's start by talking about the US CMA course, the Certified Management Accountant course, which is provided to you by the IMA, Institutes of Management Accountant. The US CMA is obviously a globally recognized course. However, you could say that it is a US-based course, given that the body that provides the course is headquartered in the United States. They also have their offices in India and other places around the world. The second thing that you need to know is the academic structure of the course. So US CMA is basically covering 12 competencies that are split in two parts. Part 1 covers the first 6 competencies, or to simplify, subjects. Part 2 covers the next 6 competencies on the next 6 subjects. Part 1 is called Financial Planning, Performance and Analytics. Part 2 is called Strategic Financial Management. Part 1 will cover various aspects of costing and budgeting, whereas Part 2 will mainly cover finance-related topics that you need to understand as a management accountant. Given that there's just 2 subjects that you're studying, obviously there's just 2 exams that you need to write. The format of both the papers is essentially the same. Start with 100 MCQs in both the exams, and then you move on to what we call essay-based questions, wherein you'll have a case study, and based on the case study, you will be asked about 4 or 5 questions which you need to answer at length to pass the exam. Now, given this mixture that I've just said, I think it's very easy for us to conclude that it is an exam that mainly focuses on an objective method of testing with an element of subjective questions as well. The best part about the US CMA exam is the amount of time in which you can complete one exam. So on average, if you have enough time on your hands, I would say 3 months is enough for you to prepare and write the examination, which in turn means anywhere between 6 to 8, sort of 6 to 9 months is enough to get the certification done. Pass rates generally globally are anywhere between 45 to 50%. It differs from quarter to quarter, but it is in the range of 45 to 50%, meaning out of every 10 students who write the US CMA exam in the world, 5 of them end up passing. At Zell, of course, this pass rate is higher due to our pedagogy and the way we train you and so on and so forth. This is mainly the US CMA aspect that you need to know. You can write your exam in either January and February, which means 1st Jan to 28th Feb, you can write your exam any date you want. Second window is May and June. And the final window is September and October. And in these 3 windows, the exam is on demand. Moving on to the CIMA course. Now, the first major point of difference is the fact that the CIMA course is a UK-based qualification. Just like the US CMA course, the CIMA course is also recognized worldwide. So the first point of difference is that it is a UK-based course. Next, we talk about the academic structure of the CIMA course. Well, CIMA is essentially split into 4 levels or 4 exams, if you want to call it that. Now, depending on your level of education, let's say in India that you've completed your grade 12, you will get your first part exempted, meaning you have to now write 3 levels. Similarly, if you have already graduated, you also get the second level exam, which means you only have to write levels 3 and 4. If you've done your chartered accounting in India or if you've completed ACCA, you have to write no levels at all. However, there is a catch, stay tuned. And here's a small catch which lies in the paper pattern of the exam. Now, the 4 levels that I talked about are split into 3 examinations which are MCQ based that you need to go and write. And the 4th element of the level of each level is a case study based exam. Now, when I say you get the part exempted, you are skipping the 3 objective exams. However, you still have to go to the center and write your subjective question or your case study questions. This is not exempted regardless of your education level. With that being said, CIMA on average takes anywhere between 1 to 3 years to complete depending on your education qualifications. Like I said, if you already have 2 exemptions, it can take you 1.5 to 2 years. If you have no exemptions, it can take as much as 3 years or 3.5 years to complete. The exams for both US CMA and CIMA are completely computer based. There's no pen and paper involved. The exams for CIMA happen all year long. So, you can book your exam for whenever you want. The packages offered to both US CMA and CIMA qualified people or students is essentially the same. You will be looking at starting anywhere between 5 to 6 lakh rupees if you're a complete fresher. However, depending on your skill sets and experience, this can rise significantly. Secondly, talking about the scope or the various job profiles in which you can work. Financial analyst, business analyst, risk manager. These are some popular profiles that students end up working in. But honestly, every organization needs a management accountant, so the scope can differ. However, these are some of the more popular domains in which students end up. With that being said, which one should you pursue? So again, guys, this is a very subjective question. But I personally, given a choice, would prefer to pursue a course that I can complete in a slightly shorter duration, given that I sort of acquire the same knowledge that a CIMA candidate is getting. Both are equally good courses. However, you need to decide depending on your background, depending on where you want to end up, which course you want to pursue. As well, if you want counseling for US CMA or CIMA, you can give us a call. We'll be happy to counsel you one-to-one, sort of make this clearer for you. I hope this sort of video differentiating between the course sort of helps you, and we've done way more videos on such topics. So if you want to check out an in-depth video on CIMA, we have that. Or if you want to check out a more in-depth video on US CMA, you can do that on our channel as well. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel if you find this helpful.